Give me a minute. I want to respond to Aura's comment here. Peter, is it true that Russia has seized assets of JP Morgan Chase Bank totaling around $440 million? How will this impact the economy of the U.S. and the strength of the dollar? So to be clear, no, it is not true. However, the Russian bank VDT, I think is what it is. The initials vary depending on the translator. But a bank in Russia has had $440 million of its assets frozen by JP Morgan Chase. And it has filed a suit to get those assets unfrozen. Look, the West doesn't keep money in Russia. Medvedev saying that they're going to seize U.S. assets or Western assets is a joke. The money, nobody puts money in Russia. Are you kidding me? He said it, and then he had to walk back the statement when he realized there was no fucking Western money in Russia. The only money in Russia, the only Western money in Russia, are investments in businesses. And the Russians have been seizing those left, right, and center. 5 power plants owned by, 5 or 7, 7 I think, power plants owned by Uniper. $9 billion worth of assets seized. Carlsberg beer seized. Dannon yogurt seized. I mean, the list goes on and on and on as as Putin has to keep his gang of oligarchs happy as the piece of the pie keeps shrinking as the economy is drying up around them. And they have to just keep printing rubles to buy war materials, which, by the way, is a surefire way to set your economy on fire, meaning it takes off until you can't afford to do that anymore because you're not really producing anything. You're not creating consumer demand, which is how you grow your economy. A wartime economy is a cannibalistic economy. You're eating yourself, and that's what's happening to Russia. So no, Aura, this is not what has happened. It's the exact opposite. We have the money frozen in the West, and Russia, of course, wants it back, and they're starting to take legal action so as to tie the money up so that the frozen assets can't be used for Ukraine. This tactic was to be expected. Anybody paying attention would expect this to happen. And it's a delay tactic to keep the money in courts so that it can't be just seized and turned over. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. This war is a war of Putin's choice, of Russia's choice, and Ukraine is owed reparations. They are getting them one way or another. Thanks, Aura. Good question.